A 3-show week of alliteration with all conferences. We're breaking down this week, starting with the letter S. Tonight, it's the SoCon, and none other than the captain, Mike Holland, joins me right now to break this 10-team conference down into our world-famous tiers. Recording live from somewhere, this is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the co-pays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We're powered by the galaxy's greatest website, drroto.com. I'm your sometimes humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich, and if you don't know, now you know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Follow me on X at Dr. William Cannon. Follow the show page at One and Done CBB, WONAND DONE CBB on all the socials. But do yourself a favor and follow this man first. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what did you?
Another week, my dude. I think we're approaching 75 days away from the season, so like it's really on its way here, man. And
you know we're getting close. It's already getting close when I'm doing the Birdman hand rub action, man. We're
right
there.
And we're off to a bunch of rappers on the show tonight as we see Cam jumping in saying, with a little Drake reference. I just flipped the switch, flip. We got our white tees on today, Jay. So like, man, we're just on it right now. But no, excited to talk. This is one of my favorite conferences. This is a conference that always causes fits. Once they get to the NCAA tournament, we see a lot of good teams come out of this conference. Man, we're gonna dive right into the SoCon and yeah, I'm excited that the whole gang is starting to jump into the chat, man. So let's tee this thing up.
Cam in there, of course. Darren hopping in there, giving props to our guy Cam for winning the MC Holland 34 Invitational more times than anybody else. Be like Cam, be like Darren, hop in the live chat. Darren's ready for some SoCon, and we hope you are too. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. Join 1,565 of your closest friends and hoop heads who have already done the same. And then hit those hit that notification bells, I should say, so you don't miss a minute of what we're doing. Let's get to the SoCon, Mike, the old Southern Conference overview. Last year, we were talking pre-show, and Nate was saying how, man, like, so glad to see a top 15 power-ranked conference after we did a couple of shows where it wasn't so rosy.
Yeah.
Sure enough, SoCon was ranked 13th out of 31 conferences, according to Ken Palm's Strength of Conference metrics. Chattanooga won the regular season crown by 2 games over UNC Greensboro, and then Wofford would catch fire in the SoCon tournament and defeat Furman in an exciting final 92 to 85. Sorry, I didn't say the score right. I get excited. I salivate when I think about seeing that many points scored and in the SoCon final for sure. And Wofford found a way to do that. Something else we were talking about is the fact that SoCon only getting a 15 seed sort of felt like they got a raw deal there.
Yep.
And Wofford put up a valiant fight against Tennessee, the 2 seed, but ultimately fell 77 to 62. All right, Mike, what are your thoughts on the SoCon before we get to the tiers?
Yeah, I mean, I'll stick with the theme, like underseeded for real. Like, what's going on, man? Like, the strength of conference was there to get a 13 or 14. I get that Wofford kind of came out of nowhere, middle of the pack, right? And basically, all the favorites didn't make the tournament, so you get Wofford jumping in here. So I think that's why they were given a 15. Still thought, a team in the middle of the pack that would come in and take this bid would get a minimum of 14. I don't know. This is a pretty strong conference year in and year out. There's a ton of parity. Like, it's not like we couldn't see this coming. There's been 6 different representatives in the tournament the last 6 years. So I don't know, man. I was a little bit bothered by that. They did put up a nice fight against Tennessee. Why does this conference pull off upsets or at least play really, really tough in the tournament? They like to let it fly. Jay, number one in 3-point attempts during conference play in the country there. So there's a lot of teams in here that love to shoot it. Some really good coaching. And yeah, we're in for, I think, another exciting SoCon year.
Yeah, some coaches with some big time jobs ahead of them this year to either find relevancy or stay relevant in a conference, Mike, like you said, from year to year. Who knows who's going to represent them in the big old dance, as they say. But maybe they'll be a little bit better seated this year. Who knows? We'll see how it plays out. Let's see how the live chat's playing out right now. Isaac hopping in A, B, C, D, E, F. He's letting us know he's a G.
What's up, Isaac?
To the end. Shout out to you, Isaac. Good
Riley,
to see you
too,
in there,
out there.
man. Riley, ball knower extraordinaire. SoCon time. Good to see you in there, man. For sure. Hop in there with Darren and Riley and Isaac and Cam in the group. Push those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get to the low tiers, Mike, and let's get to Darren's question. Why does the Citadel even have a basketball program? Well, I don't know if I want to question them that much, but
yeah.
When you don't win a game in conference play, 0-18 last year, Mike, Coach Ed Conroy knows he has one of the toughest jobs in all of D1 on his plate. The Bulldogs have never made the tournament, not one time, Mike. And they only really, if you look at it, you got to go pretty far back on that Rolodex to find a few winning seasons, only 3 or so in the last half century. They have a couple of guys back at this point in time, try to establish a little bit of continuity, Keenan Davis and Christian Moore. But one of the D2 guys that we often talk about needing to step up in a conference like this, the lower parts of this conference needing to find somebody, a JUCO guy or a D2 guy needing to step up. And Citadel is going to need that for sure. Or maybe even Iowa transfer Carter Kingsbury. Maybe. Unfortunately, though, it's sort of looking like another long year. You don't want to be pessimistic about a team that, Coach Conroy is going to go out there and try to do his best, but it's looking tough for the Bulldogs. And then let's move on now to the UNC Greensboro Spartans, Mike. 13-5 in the conference last year, so it's like, okay, why are we talking about them in the low tier? We'll get to that in a minute. Coach Mike Jones, who? Mike Jones is one of the top coaches in the league. 3 straight 20-win seasons, and you're like, okay, why are we talking about them down here, Mike? And it's really down to just the size of the L's that they took in the portal, man.
Yeah, it was pretty rough portal go, man. Guard Kenyon Giles, he's off to Wichita State. Donovan Atwell was a really nice pickup for Texas Tech. I like Jalen Brett. I think he's going to do some good things for Ohio. You also had, some seniors departing, man. Ronald Polite, he averaged over 13 points per game. So, I don't doubt that Jones can make things happen, but for a preseason outlook, there's just not a lot on this roster that you can really count on. I know they have Albany forward Justin Ely. He's coming in. He's proven, but this is even a step up for him. They're going to need to find some gold, man, from that D2 JUCO incoming freshman list because there are a ton of those on this roster here, man. We'll slide over to the other two teams here. We got Western Carolina, the Catamounts, and the VMI Cadets. So Western Carolina 4-14 last year in the conference. The results in year one for Tim Kraft, a bit underwhelming versus preseason expectations. The tempo was a lot of fun. They were top 40, but the defense and 3-point shooting were bottom 20 in the country. So that is definitely going to need some improvement. I do like that they have a key guard back, Cord Stansberry. Even forward Marcus Kell has a little bit of upside to him. So it's just hard to visualize this outside shooting improving a lot. And although they have size, they're still projected to be in the bottom 3 of the league defensively. So don't love that for Western Carolina. The Cadets here for VMI. Like the Citadel, obviously another program that has a challenge trying to establishing a winning identity. Coach Andrew Nelson's going into year 4. Now they were competitive. Obviously, they won 7 games in conference last year, and the defense has improved tremendously. And they've had some solid players in their program over the last 5 years. He's going to return a lot of his roster. You got Ricky Bradley, 16.3 points per game. He can fill it up. You got TJ Johnson, a forward, 12 points per game. He can stretch the floor too. So I think they're going to be able to win some games offensively, but lack of size and the lack of defensive prowess, I think we're going to see 6 to 7 wins as kind of a ceiling for VMI again.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Wilson can do. It's nice to be able to have that continuity, but we'll see if they can D anybody up. All right, good stuff. That's the old low tier, the foundation here. VMI, Western Carolina, UNC Greensboro, and the Citadel. Is there any truth that Rodney Terry is an assistant at VMI? I'm not. You're not getting me off. You're not getting me off track tonight, Darren, with your Rodney Terry talk. I will answer your question though. What is a catamount? It's just a big old cat.
Oh,
it's a cat.
They
could have just called them the Cats, I guess. But catamount, catamount. Yeah. Who knows? If you have more questions like Darren, make sure.
Snake eyes with the definition in there, man.
Oh wow, I love it. See, that's what you get. You get hoop heads. You get nature lovers like Snake's Eyes in the chat.
Snake's Eyes defending his animals, man.
Hey, I love
Animal
it.
Kingdom.
I love it. Good stuff. Cam Hop chiming in. UNCG misses Wes Miller. Hey, I mean, well, here's the deal. Doesn't matter if Mike Jones is the coach. If you lose that many guys, it's tough to just bounce back there. And we'll see if they can do it. But again, 3 straight 20-plus win seasons for Coach Jones. If anybody can do it, it might be him. Hop in the live chat with everybody. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. So we hop onto the old mid tier. Like a catamount is a medium-sized cat. We're going to the old medium mid range here.
Segue.
Nothing medium or mid about a bear, but maybe the Mercer Bears do fit into this mid category. 6-12 in conference last year, and it wasn't it wasn't perfect for Coach Ryan Ritter. It wasn't. Highly successful at places like Tennessee Martin, Bethune-Cookman, has a track record, so we're going to give him a benefit of the doubt here, and Mercer will too, for sure. It's the fast-paced offense that gets you up and down, get you as many possessions as possible. The problem is the efficiency wasn't there, and honestly, what kept them into even winning 6 games was the fact that they were pretty good defensively, though. So you get a full roster reset now. You're running it back to try to have that cohesiveness, to try to get that system to keep cooking here. And I think the thing you can just point to point blank as the reason why they would finish in this mid-tier and maybe the higher end of the mid-tier is the talent that they brought in. Baraka Okoji, formerly of Memphis via George Mason, one of those 2 transfer guys that's found his way now to Mercer. Kyle Cuff from Syracuse, big, physical, talented guys, and just are looking for that opportunity. Riley planting his flag, saying Mercer's winning the conference, and they cuff his player of the year. We love it. Ball Noor, okay? We always like Riley's takes. We have Mercer right now in the high part of that mid tier, but we haven't even talked about Zaire Williams yet. So you talk about Okoji, Cuff, Williams. That's a pretty good backcourt. I love me some backcourt play, Mike. The problem is the depth and the size of the front court. So again, the guards, no issues with the guard play here. Can we see another step forward with the players that they have there? I think I'm more in favor of tempering down those expectations a little bit. But again, Mercer could do it. There's plenty of talent in that backcourt. Backcourt play wins when it matters, Mike. But I mean, you still got to rebound. You still got to be able to block somebody out too. So, what about Wofford here, Mike? This program was knocking on the door of a top 100 Ken Palm ranking, 10-8 in the conference last year.
Yeah, and Dwight Perry, man, he's really established his culture, and they're one of the better mid-major offensive programs over his first couple of years. The problem is that you're going to have to replace an all-conference guy like Kyler Filowich and Corey Tripp. And the portal pretty much ravaged the rest of the roster, man. I mean, when you're that successful, you get into the tournament, right? We're going to talk about a ton of teams. We've already talked about a ton of teams over the 12 shows that we've already done. The portal haul, though, that they're bringing in, I think it's to keep them competitive on both ends nightly. I mean, you have Caden Vasco from Central Michigan, average 7 points, 5 boards. Niels Mikowski coming in from UCF, a really nice outside shooter. I think they're kind of a solid 1-2 punch here. I do like the outside shooting on this entire roster. I do question the ceiling based on depth concerns on this roster. They're going to be one of the youngest teams in the country, but I'm not going to discount what Coach Perry can do. So I definitely like Wofford to kind of be in that, live in that 9-win range. Furman, man, the Paladins, 11-7 last year under Coach Bob Ritchie, and they're basically a consistent powerhouse in the mid-major ranks through 8 seasons. Coach Ritchie's finished in the Kim Palm top 100 6 times. Unfortunately, the last 2 years we've seen a slight step back, 141st and 139th. So that's still a solid floor, obviously, but we've seen this team, get into that top 100. So still a sign of a pretty healthy program. I think it points to a sign that this conference as a whole has been picking up its game. We talked about 6 different representatives in the last 6 years in the NCAA tournament. So, like, the problem with Furman is they lose a pretty nice backcourt. You got PJ Smith gone, Nick Anderson's gone. What they do have are a bunch of returning guys that are going to need to step into bigger roles. So not really going the portal route like a lot of teams that we just talked about. They do have much of their roster back. You got guard Tom House, formerly at Florida State a few years ago, averaged 7 points, shot 40% from 3. You got some front court starters back and Ben Vanderwall, Cooper Bowser. So they're going to become more of a focal point of the offense. Clemson transfer forward Asa Thomas. He's just kind of an X factor. And then you got a lot of depth that comes from this talented freshman class. So I think they're going to be pretty good on both ends of the floor, and they're going to carry a pretty high floor coming into the year. That's just what Coach Ritchie and his teams do. But the teams that we're going to talk about in this high tier, man, just a bit more upside, it feels like, than what we see with like Furman, Mercer, and then, Wofford. Going to be one of the younger teams. So we just like these 3 teams that we're about to talk about just a little bit more. But this is going to be an open – when it comes down to conference tournament time, like, there's legit 8 teams that could that could win this bid.
Mercer, Wofford, and of course Furman there in the old mid tier. More mascot questions. What's a Paladin? And I was going to say, think of a Paladin when you think of me and Mike as the Paladins of college basketball. That's sort of what, if, oh, wait, okay, there we go. Snake Eyes actually has a definition for you there. But
more than animals.
I mean, when you think about me and Mike, what more do you think of besides our search for righteousness and the cause of good right here on One and Done? It's happening. It's happening.
Oh, boy.
Right here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on the notification bells so you don't miss one single solitary minute of our college basketball coverage. Going live 3 times again this week. If you're watching us live, it's Monday night. Thanks for hanging out with us for some SoCon talk on a Monday. 1,565 of the breadheads of the One and Done universe. All the hoop heads have pushed that button. At least that was the number before the show. We might be beyond that. Who knows? We might already be at our goal of 11 gazillion, fulfillion, and 1. Either way, somebody hit that button if you haven't already. And let's move on to the old high tier. Samford and Son, Darren, I'll bite. Yes, they are in the high tier. 12-6 last year in the conference. The downside here, obviously, Mike.
Womp womp.
It's no more Buckyball, man. No 5 seasons of Coach Bucky McMillan in Samford. They got an NCAA tournament berth out of that. A conference championship win, obviously. And now he's off to the land of the Milkmen cheerleaders, Texas A&M and College Station. So, former Lipscomb headman, Lenny Acuff, slides right in for the Bulldogs. I think Samford fans will be pleased with the product this year as well, as evidenced by Samford being in our high tier. Basically a reset with the roster, but this isn't a normal reset for this level of hoops. I think you got to be pleased with the talent that you're going to see. Stud forward Dylan Faulkner, 10.5 points, 5.5 boards, block and a half per game. Followed coach over to Samford and is a per-minute monster on both ends. Somebody that we'll probably talk about a little bit on DFS if Samford is on a slate. Then you surround Faulkner with shooters like Keaton Norris, who at Wright State shot 45% from 3, 7.5 points per game. DeJohn Humphrey, who shot 39% from 3 at Bowling Green. You mix it all in, you stir the gumbo, you throw in a little bit of okra, and this offense is going to be dangerous. The ceiling now, which so often happens at any level, got a lot of guys that can score the basketball. Who's going to stop somebody? So outside of Faulkner, there's not much size. I think that the ceiling is higher than like a Furman, but the floor is what's volatile here. I like them in the high tier for that ceiling. This is going to be a super fun team to watch unravel and unfold. And if they get a little bit of issues with depth, does that really hamper the Bulldogs? And Coach Acuff, we'll see how it goes. Mike, I'm going to toss it to you here for the East Tennessee State Buccaneers. Also went 12-6 in conference last year, just like Samford did. Coach Brooks Savage coming into year 3 now, looking to build on some nice momentum.
Yeah, all three teams we have in the side tier won 12 plus games, and I'm with you with Samford. Like, they're probably the team that would probably trade places with a Mercer or a Furman, based on depth issues and just the volatility of the floor. But you look at like East Tennessee State and the Chattanooga Mocs, man, and like you just know that they're going to be at the top of the standings. If everything kind of holds true for them. So I know it's tough for East Tennessee State. You lose Kwamari Peterson, their stud guard. Knows exactly what he's talking about. 20 points per game, 4 assists. He's off to Washington. But here's the thing, man. Like, look at the backcourt that they have here. They still have Jalen Smith, a guard that transferred in from North Florida, averaged 11 points, nearly 6 assists per game. Milton Matthews from Florida A&M shot 37% from 3. Brian Taylor comes in from SIU Edwardsville, averaged 11 points, shot 45% from 3. It's probably going to be up there with the best backcourt in the conference, and they're going to be pretty tough to stop once they gel as a unit, which might take them a little bit of time. But kind of similar to Samford as far as a profile, they're going to boast one of the league's better offenses, but defense. The problem is they don't have a Faulkner to protect the rim for a majority of the game. As Jaden Seymour, he's out of eligibility, and that's going to be a major concern. But I think the offense has enough to carry them nightly. And then you look at the Chattanooga Mocs, man, like Dan Earl's just been doing his thing. He's got this program at peak levels. Last year's 29 wins tied the 15-16 season for most in single season history. He's going into year 4. For me, it's tournament or bust at this point for Coach Earl. They're going to be offensively one of the more premier, efficient outside shooting teams in the country. Last year they were 26th in the country in effective field goal percentage, and they're just basically in the top 20 in 3-point attempt rate every single year. So they're going to fire off a bunch of threes. More times than not, they're pretty efficient. They take care of the ball. There's just a lot of new faces on this team this year, which is a little bit of a concern, but some nice talent added through the portal here. You got Brendan Watkins, a North Dakota State transfer. He's projected to start at point guard. He's a scorer and a playmaker. You got Teddy Washington Jr., a catch and shoot combo guard, which I think is a nice pairing with Watkins. And then you got Bellarmine transfer Billy Smith, who's like a high volume stretch 4. Both Washington and Billy Smith are kind of tailor made for this like 5-out offense that Coach Earl runs. So defensively, they're not going to have as much rim protection either, but they're going to need to play some solid team defense to kind of reach their ceiling. So, whereas Samford has Faulkner to protect the rim, East Tennessee State and Chattanooga don't have that guy, but they have guys that I feel more comfortable with as far as gelling offensively on a nightly basis than the volatility potentially that could hit Samford.
Chattanooga, East Tennessee State, and Samford rounding out our show in the high tier. In the old mid tier, it's Mercer, Wofford, and Furman, the old Paladins. And then down there in the low tier, the foundation, we have the Citadel looking to improve on their 0-win conference year last season. UNC Greensboro, maybe a surprise to some to be in the low tier, but we'll see if Mike Jones can turn this thing around after losing so many players to the portal. Western Carolina and VMI joining the Spartans and Bulldogs in the low tier. Shout out to everybody that joined us tonight. Let's hop in the live chat one more time just to check in with the liveliest live chat in all of college hoops. I saw it earlier, Darren, but we'd already moved on. This is the big one. Coming to see you, Elizabeth. You got me. I wasn't gonna not get it on the show. So shout out to you for being on here.
I like Riley's call about Cam Morris, though. I know we profiled the backcourt, Jay, for ETSU, but they didn't really talk about. I mean, the front court is going to be key for all three of these teams in the high tier. Can Cam Morris and someone like Braden Crump or Jordan McCullum coming in from Murray State, can those guys do enough defensively? Because these three offenses are going to be pretty good.
They're going to score the ball. Who's going to stop anybody? That's what's going to win you a SoCon title and get you a berth, I should say, to the old dance, as they say. Good stuff, everybody. Darren making sure he fit it in. He's not playing Jaden Epps in any DFS contest this upcoming season, even a free one, which the MC Holland 34 Invitational is not on DraftKings, but we'll get you over there anyway with 30 or 40 of our closest hoop heads and friends. Snake's Eyes, thanks for hopping on with us tonight, as always. The legend himself, CT Huggin, C-Thuggin, Cam, the man with many names and one big heart. There he is right there. Riley hopping in there too. Extreme Ball Knower Extraordinaire. Who else hopped in there tonight? I know I'm leaving somebody. Isaac, of course, hopped in, being a G from the jump. We appreciate everybody for hopping in. We appreciate the Drake references from Cam early in the show, as always. We appreciate our guy Napier, who I forgot to shout out earlier in the show, pushing the buttons tonight. Our guy at the Real Napier on X. The Hall of Famer himself, CC Hustle. Shout out to our guy out at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Eric the Blue, the best fantasy follow, the best football follow this side of the Mississippi, at Fantasy Nav. Give him a follow. Give the show a follow at One and Done CBB, WONANDDONE CBB on all the socials. Hit all the buttons. That man right there on the screen. Around here, he's El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. At MC Holland 34 on X, give him a follow. You get your Sydney Sweeney and Drake and WNBA content, all you can handle right there. Some good DFS stuff too. Any time of the year, just follow him. He'll put up a gem sooner or later. If he hasn't in a couple of days, just hold your breath. It'll come up sooner or later. Or who knows? Follow him anyway. Darren, I will watch out for any recall Bluebell ice cream. I had a friend that works for Bluebell, actually. That was tough times for them down there. If you don't know the Listeria thing, that's a Texas thing. Okay, anyways, that's of course, somebody that says Go Mean Green would know about the Bluebell Listeria outbreak. What a way to end the show after a very strong SoCon show. We're talking Listeria at the end of it, but that's all right. Go Mean Green, go Darren, and go One and Done. Tell somebody that you love them. Take care of yourselves. We got 2 more shows this week. Mike, what do we got up? I'm sorry. We got
we got the Slack Attack tomorrow, and then Southland on Thursday. And guess what, Jay?
What's that?
I'm gonna call it halfway. I know my math sometimes ain't mathing, but after this week, we're 15-31, baby. So
love it.
Hey, not even
we're cooking right here on One and Done. We're talking SoCon in mid-August, and not many people are doing that. So thanks for joining us for it. We appreciate all of you. Push those buttons. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.